Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. So, round two, day two of this week. Yesterday, Bitcoin exploded upwards towards $35,000. Today, it's taking a little breather, but that doesn't mean it's about to stop. The entire crypto market cap went up by over $100 billion. And today we're seeing some alts fly up. So let's talk about what's going on today. What more can we expect? Let's do this. Welcome, guys. Last night was wild. And there's the market bell. Last night, while I was streaming, we saw Bitcoin pump up and up and up and up and up and up and up to 35,000 right now. Not too shabby, like I said, taking a breather at 34.5 right now. I mean, considering we were at 26.6 over the weekend, I think we're doing pretty darn good. That's an 8,000 point gain. Again, this is why I've been telling you guys to stay in the game, stay focused, and continue to accumulate, because when things move, they come very, very fast. And when I say things, I mean crypto. All right, so today's market, let's see. Today could finally be in the green. Yesterday was pretty red, but of course, we have the crypto-related stocks skyrocketing today. Marathon up 11% right now. Coinbase up 7%. And Microstrategy up 7%. Man, Microstrategy and Michael Saylor starting to look like a genius, right? But yeah, they are all skyrocketing right now. And you know what? It's funny because I've been talking about how Bitcoin has been decoupling away from U.S. markets, but it's really decoupling away from all markets, because all markets around the world are quite sad. I saw this headline this morning. World's largest sovereign wealth fund loses $34 billion in the quarter because all asset classes fell. Okay? I don't know if that's true. I think they're forgetting one asset class that didn't fall, and that's Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has doubled now in 2023. From our bottom to our top yesterday, Bitcoin has doubled while everything else has been stagnant and has been not doing so good. So again, this is why you stick with Bitcoin, why I've been arguing Bitcoin is the best hedge against inflation, because it does recover up the fastest, and over the long periods of time, nothing outperforms it, right? And now I think people are paying attention. Wealth funds, hedge funds, pension funds, retirement funds, they all want to preserve their wealth. They want not their wealth, their clients' wealth, right? They want to preserve their buying power. They don't want to see buying power lost due to inflation, and also they don't want to see their clients lose a whole bunch of money with the assets that are holding. So I believe they are starting to look at Bitcoin. This is the perfect time for Bitcoin to be gaining strength while everything else is weak, especially with, you know what, a spot Bitcoin ETF right around the corner, because this is the number one thing they're going to be looking at. I don't know if all these funds really want to directly purchase Bitcoin, but when a Bitcoin ETF comes out, a spot ETF comes out, they will be buying. There's no doubt about it. We're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars coming in, and then later it's going to add to many, many, many trillions by the end of this cycle. Now, yesterday, I believe this is what kicked things off in a big way. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF got a symbol even before approval, right? IBTC. Now, they also amended their ETF application by saying they're going to be seeding their ETF this month in October. So is BlackRock buying behind the scenes right now? Or are others buying behind the scenes, anticipating BlackRock is going to get their approval soon? And let's not forget Grayscale's conversion. That is coming up too, right? So yeah, all these funds that are losing money right now, they're going to want a way to preserve their wealth, their clients' assets. And what better way to load up on Bitcoin? Okay, really, it's a no-brainer situation. We are definitely seeing a lot of Bitcoin and crypto leave exchanges right now. This is awesome. Yesterday, while Bitcoin is pumping, I heard from the crowd that Coinbase was starting to get wonky. Their systems always goes down whenever there's a lot of FOMO. Because when there's FOMO, there's real FOMO. Like millions of people coming in to Coinbase trying to buy. So we're seeing that. And of course, we've been seeing that for a while. It's just that no one really pays attention. But I've been telling you, this is part of the growing fundamentals of Bitcoin, how its exchange reserves keeps on going down. And you can see this goes back about a week. And we see significant amount of Bitcoin being taken off the exchanges, removed consistently, day after day after day after day after day. This will add up. One day when Bitcoin is much larger, it's going to be very difficult to buy because, quite simply, the supply is so low. That's why halving events are so significant, because halving events also cut the inflation rate in half. That means there's less coming out. But we already mined most of the Bitcoins already. So everyone's fighting for what exists now. And what exists now is dropping too, because the big institutions now loading up, retail investors that continue to hold on DCA. So it makes a whole lot of sense. Now, I did talk about Coinbase. Someone tried to spread some rumor about Coinbase now having like a weekly withdrawal limit, right? And Coinbase is like, no, that's false. False news. Okay, we're not doing that. Now, they do have, like I said, they do have periods where, it's unfortunate. When there's a lot of FOMO, their system just goes down. It goes both ways. When there's panic selling, their system goes down. When there's panic buying, their system goes down. You figure by now they could bulletproof their infrastructure so that doesn't happen. But it still seems like it does all the time. So just prepare for that. Okay. So what can we look forward to? Well, this chart right here, it seems like there's a whole lot of nothing on the left side. And then there's a whole lot of something on the right side. What's this about? Well, gold prices. For basically 100+ years, gold really didn't move all that much, comparatively speaking, when you compare it to where it is now. But you could see a little surge in the 70s and 80s and 90s, 2000. And then guess what happened? A spot gold ETF got approved, and man, that caused gold to pump and pump and pump and pump, right? And now it's where it is now, around $2,000 an ounce, right? What's the point of this? See that right there is very telling, okay? And shows you the power of a spot Bitcoin ETF. That's why I say trillions. The global market cap right now is barely above 1 trillion, 1.28 trillion. Bitcoin is not even at a trillion, okay? Wait until the bull run starts. Wait until these funds that I mentioned, retirement funds, pension funds, sovereign funds, whatever, they start putting in their hundreds of billions into these spot Bitcoin ETFs, which forces the fund companies like BlackRock to purchase hundreds of billions of Bitcoin. That's just the beginning. Then you compound that with FOMO. We're talking about trillions upon trillions upon trillions. By the end of 2025, the global market cap could be well above $10 trillion. That's a 10x from here. Think about it, right? It's going to be amazing, but ETF is one of those catalysts that makes it happen. Now, here's something else that's even better. If you thought October has been good so far, wait until wait until Moonvember comes around. Average monthly performance of Bitcoin, yeah, September normally isn't a good month, okay? And we did experience a fall in September. But right now in October, we still have a week left, and it's been pretty good. But look at the performance of Bitcoin in November. And this is not a year coming off from top. This is a year coming off from the bottom. And if you look at that, it's even better. So this is what we have to look forward to after this month and next month. And I've been talking about the Santa rally too. Santa rally is a real thing. The last 2 months of every year traditionally has been very good for not only Bitcoin, for all assets. But this year I think it's going to be even better for Bitcoin because we may get a spot Bitcoin ETF approval. It's right around the corner. And plus, we're coming off from the bottom. Again, this is not a year when we're coming off from the top. We're coming off from the bottom. And there's FOMO. And there's a lot of buying. So, I mean, I think we're going, and now, seeing where we are now, I think by the time we hit December, we could be in the, I don't know, we could be in the mid 40s, approaching 50. I had to revise because earlier this year, not even that far ago, maybe a few weeks ago, I was thinking if we end between 35 to 40,000 by the end of the year, that would be great. But things have changed in a big way. We're already at 35,000. So we got to adjust. So in the next 2 months, we could see Bitcoin go up to $45,000, $50,000. And who knows, if we do get a spot Bitcoin ETF, can we break through 50,000? Maybe. I mean, again, when things move, they move really quickly. And the amount of money that's out there sitting at the sidelines waiting to come in is so much. It could drive Bitcoin to levels we can't even imagine right now. All right. So Microstrategy, right? Looking like a genius company. And Michael Saylor looking like a genius company. Up 11% right now. Coinbase up 13%. Mara up 17%. Today's a good day for crypto companies. But look at MicroStrategy. Where is it? MicroStrategy is now up a cool $746 million just with their holdings. Over 158,000 Bitcoins, okay? A lot of people picked on Michael for a long time, saying he dollar cost average way too much, way too high. But he proves that it works. It does. And so many of you guys have been doing this too and been DCAing. And you have also proven that this works. That's the power of DCA. You don't have to outsmart the market. You don't have to time bottoms or tops. You just continue to DCA on a schedule, unwavering, like a robot. You take emotions out of it, and then you will be led to the promised land. So Michael Saylor is proving it with his strategy, and I will prove it with my DCA portfolio too with you guys. It's really that simple, okay? But in a crypto winter, people don't want to believe that. A lot of people don't. A lot of traders will come out and say, well, look at me. I'm so smart. I could time bottoms, and I can make infinite amount of money in a crypto winter, right? You don't need to be like that. Some people are probably successful doing that, but most are not, okay? Just DCA. That's all you really need to do. Now, speaking of DCA, 80%, okay? 80% of all addresses holding some sort of Bitcoin, just a little amount to vast amounts, 80% are now in profit. Again, proving DCA. 80% of people holding Bitcoin is in the green right now. Think about that, okay? This is based on when they purchased and what the price is now, okay? So a lot of people are very happy right now that they held. We got through crypto winter. We're definitely coming up. Who knows where we will be by the end of the year, right? But again, it proves that holding an asset like Bitcoin is worth it. Definitely worth it. Now, as for some charts that show where Bitcoin is heading, well, every single one is showing goodness. And I've been showing these kind of charts for a long time, but here's one that shows the Bollinger Bands compressed to the tightest level since 2016. And when you have these kind of compressions, you have an explosion afterwards, right? And that's what we're seeing right now. We haven't seen a channel this compressed since 2016, and we are definitely exploding upwards. So that's fantastic. Here's another one. Here's another one that's showing peaks of Bitcoin, right? I don't know what the bottom. Oh, the bottom is using RSI. Are we anywhere close to the previous tops, the previous peaks for RSI, right? 80 levels, 70 levels, right? No, we are not. We are not. We have barely begun. Again, another chart that shows you that, yeah, we're in recovery mode for sure, but we're nowhere close to peak. But where is that peak, you might be asking? Where is it? Well, this is not the peak of 2025, but according to ARK Invest, the peak in 2030, so that's the cycle after this one, the worst case, absolute worst case, bear case scenario in 2030 is we will see Bitcoin at 258,000. That's the absolute worst case. So even if you were to hold for 7 years, worst case scenario, Bitcoin is at $260,000. The base case, a normal case, just by going with the flow, what has always been, we will see $682,000 by 2030. And in a bull case, if the world fully embraces and adopts Bitcoin, and it's looking like it wants to, a lot of countries, a lot of leaders, a lot of banks, financial institutions, all turning to Bitcoin and crypto and Web3 and everything, right? Bull case for Bitcoin by 2030 is $1.5 million. So tell me it's not worth holding Bitcoin. We're talking about just 7 years from now. Okay, less than 7 years. We're about to approach 2024. Would you not hold something that could possibly go from where we are, 34,000 to 1.5 million in 7 years? If you knew this for certainty, why would you spend money on anything else? Stop eating at McDonald's. Stop buying coffee from Starbucks. Stop upgrading your cars. Stop going on vacations. You load up on Bitcoin, right? But we don't know for 100% certainty. But if we're looking at Bitcoin's history, I mean, it never disappoints. It just keeps going and going and going, forms a higher low and higher high every single cycle. So why should we doubt that Bitcoin will continue its ways and maybe reach 1.5 million by 2030? It's hard to imagine, but I mean, it's hard to imagine Bitcoin at 35,000 too. Especially if you've been in it long enough and you remember Bitcoin in double digits or triple digits. I was not in double digits. In triple digits, I was in it. But I mean, to go from triple digits to 5 digits now, and pretty soon it's going to be 6 digits, you know, and then 7 digits. I mean, the digits keeps adding on in a good way, not like a meme coin where you add a lot of decimal points. So yeah, that's what we have to look forward to. We got 5,000 people tuning in right now. 5,000 of you guys that are looking for this to happen. And to find out what's going on with some of these others. I noticed, yesterday Pepe did go up quite a lot. Surged 31% after a 5.5 million token burn from the team, right? I don't know about Pepe, but I do know meme coins, and meme coins always skyrocket in bull markets. They always do. So those of you guys that's holding Doge and Sheeb, right? You'll see them go back to all-time highs for sure. Pepe, probably too, and it's even after a surge is kind of low compared to where they were. But, they had some controversy. Some of their, supposedly some of their team members left and took some coins or whatever. I don't know. It's kind of a mess, but I do know that they will probably trend upwards as the bull market continues forward. Now, something else that is mind-boggling, it's not a meme coin, is Mina protocol. Mina is up like a staggering 100-something% right now. I don't advise anyone to ever buy anything that's up 100% in a day, okay? So you definitely don't want to be left holding the bag, so to speak, when it starts coming down. But Mina is going up. I think it's due to this upbit listing because there's no other reason for it other than there's a whole bunch of people trying to pump it right now, right? This also reminds me of something that has happened in previous times. But before I share that, even Mina is saying they are currently experiencing extreme high levels of transaction volume, right? Encouraging members to spin up additional nodes to handle it. So, like, it doesn't seem like they even know what's going on, okay? But this does remind me, whenever we go through these bull runs, when a tremendous amount of money goes into Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin takes a breather like it is right now, and yesterday I said it's probably going to take a breather right at that point that I marked, 34.3, and that's what it's doing right now. And hopefully we could utilize that as a support and then trend upwards. But my point is this, usually in like a bull run, like a mini bull run or a mini pump, when you see Bitcoin do this, okay, very fast, a lot of people made a lot of money. And what do they do with that money? They then sell Bitcoin and they pump a specific alt they like. And we have seen random pumps of random L1s happen many times before. So after Mina, it would not surprise me if we see some random L1 alt start skyrocketing afterwards, right? We see that all the time. Maybe Avalanche starts, pumping, or Cosmos starts pumping, or Aptos starts pumping, even though everything is in the green today. But we'll see those crazy pumps periodically simply because, look at Mina up 100%. Simply because people are taking profits from their Bitcoin and just like dumping it into their favorite alt, or they're purposely trying to pump it. But we see that a lot. Conflux up 44% today, the biggest chain in China right now. You got Pepe up 32%. Wu Network up 17%. Big movers today. Arweave up 13. Oasis up 13. It could simply just be that. All right. Up 15%, up 12%, up 10%. Overall, U.S. market is up today. So today, the markets are aligning. All right, let's do some Q&A. Bitcoin dominance, I just noticed, skyrocketed. Chef Raph, haven't seen you in here for a long time. I'm glad you're back. I just noticed Bitcoin dominance shot up to the moon. Yesterday it was like 51%. Now it's close to 53%, up here, 52.9%. So Bitcoin is definitely still leading the way, for sure. I missed some super chats above, and I apologize. I saw someone send a $10 super chat. I was in my groove, so I couldn't look at it. I appreciate it. Anyone else that missed it, you can retype it. Wagme is here. George is very excited. Yes, but it has nothing to do with Lego sets. All right. Larry Fink told everyone to buy BTC a week ago. That's true. He went on air and said everyone is buying Bitcoin because they see it as a flight to quality, right? I want to add flight to safety too, right? Look at it. I mean, look at this. When the world's largest sovereign wealth fund loses that much in a quarter, well, you got to figure they're looking at how to preserve their wealth, right? Because they're a wealth fund. How are they going to preserve their wealth when everything is going down except one asset class. That's Bitcoin. So you got to figure they're really, 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 really interested in either buying physical Bitcoins or putting a ton of money into a Bitcoin spot ETF when it comes, right? Man, these man, I have options on Mara and Coinbase. I think they're gonna be sky high today. Microstrategy, everything's doing well today. I mean everything. Bitcoin's taking a breather. That's okay. Bitcoin deserves a breather. Okay, it's gone up like 8,000 points in like 2 days. It's okay. It takes a breather. Even getting to this point, like I've always said this before. I haven't said it recently, but before when we, couldn't break this 31.6, I said there's nothing holding Bitcoin between 31.6 and this 34 mark, right? I mean, it's just, and that's what we did. We just broke through it. Now the next point I drew yesterday is around 36.8. So once Bitcoin regains its strength, boom. I think that's where we will be, about 37,000. That's the next level. Papa Bear Studios, off topic. My wife asked, no, that relates. If there's hyperinflation, wouldn't be in fixed rate debt actually be good since your payments wouldn't change? Yes. Yes, that is true. But that depends on what type of, I guess, loan that you have. Because if the interest on the loan also changes, right? Then that could be a different scenario. But you're right. If it's like a fixed interest and a fixed, like say monthly, yeah, that would help you over time. But of course, you're looking at it like between a rock and a hard place. But why would you even want to be in that position when you could be putting that money into an asset like Bitcoin so that there's no interest and you're actually holding on a value asset that can appreciate and outperform inflation? That's the best. But she's not wrong. Yeah, of course that's right. Let's see here. El Salvador, NMCT says, El Salvador may be the first to be a first world country in Central America the way BTC keeps going up. Yes, they certainly, they led the way. They don't have nearly as many Bitcoins as Michael Saylor, for example, or other countries. But, in the future, when they become a powerhouse due to their Bitcoin holdings and their Bitcoin infrastructure, right? It'll be a case study for other countries that are suffering hyperinflation and distrust in their banks and central bank in general and their government. People are going to study El Salvador. Seabass, I appreciate it. 5,300 people in here. Amazing. Not as good as last night, which was even more amazing. 8,000 people. But, those days will come. More days will come. Yeah, let's just enjoy it. Enjoy the moment. XRP is going up? Yes. In my opinion, XRP is a good one to hold. I mean, Ethereum's up too. Ethereum's up almost 10%. XRP's up. Now that you don't have to worry about the lawsuit, November 9th, I've been hyping up that date. November 9th is going to be important. That's when I believe the SEC settles with Ripple, and then there's no more. And then Ripple goes IPO. I mean, if you think about the timing of it, is absolutely perfect. Perfect. So I think XRP is going to be a good hold for sure. Alexandre, what do you think the top will be? October 2025? Yeah, October, November of 2025. But, you know, every cycle is different a little bit. We could carry past that. In 2017, the cycle didn't end until January 2018 when the alts really exploded. But in 2021, obviously it ended in November and everything went down in December because of the Fed. So it's a little bit different every single cycle. This time it could be earlier, it could be later. With all the spot Bitcoin ETFs out there, this time around, with all the big institutions holding on their Bitcoin, will Bitcoin even fall? Don't know. What happens when you send staked Lido STE to an ETH wallet? I did that 10 days ago and I still haven't received anything. What happens is you lost it. That's what happens. I don't know why you would do that. You know, I don't think that that's compatible at all. So I think you may have just lost that. If you set it to ETH wallet on exchange, they may be able to reverse the transaction or decline it. But if you send it to, say, like your Trust wallet, I don't know if there's anything you could do. Good morning, George. Do you think that we're at the point of the cycle that the alts will stop bleeding against Bitcoin? No, nowhere close. Even yesterday, alts are bleeding against Bitcoin. The bleeding won't stop until like 2025, my man. I think you're a little too ambitious. Altcoin season doesn't really happen usually until Bitcoin stops pumping. And Bitcoin's not going to stop pumping for a long, long time. If Bitcoin was at 250,000, then I would say, yeah, it's altcoin season. That doesn't mean altcoins won't go up. I mean, look at today. Everything's up. Cardano's up 10%. XRP 9, Ethereum 9, right? Polygon's 9. I mean, everything's up. Don't get me wrong. Doesn't mean that they're going to bleed out. But they will lose their value against Bitcoin because look at Bitcoin is up more than most of them. That's why you don't want to go too heavy into too many alts too fast. You still want to hold a boatload of Bitcoin in your portfolio for days like this. And I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. Not until Bitcoin tops out. Every cycle has proven that. The alts start jumping crazily when Bitcoin starts topping out, when the money flows out. Thank you, OG says, thank you for making my portfolio profitable. Even if I had a good entry point, do you think for altcoins it's a good time to do something or just wait? Again, don't try to time top or bottom. Don't try to guess when altcoin season is going to start before you buy in. If you love a lot of the altcoins or you're down on them, it's a great time to be DCAing because we're not back towards the high, right? A lot of these altcoins are still 70, 80% off their highs. That means there's a lot to go, a lot of upside just to get back to even. So don't wait, I guess. But the number one rule, you know, I think when it comes to building a portfolio is do not skimp on Bitcoin. Every cycle, you have a tremendous amount of retail people coming in. And they look at Bitcoin and they're like, it's too big. I'm not going to make any money from it. So I have to invest in the ultra small micro caps, right? Which is why meme coins do so well. Because you could buy like 1 billion of them for like $100. But that doesn't mean the upside is as great as some of these other big caps that already exist. You know, Bitcoin, as big as it is, keep in mind, you could buy fractional Bitcoin. And 10x is a 10x. It doesn't matter if you hold 100 Bitcoins or 10 Bitcoins or 0.1 Bitcoins. A 10x is a 10x, right? Do I anticipate Bitcoin doing 10x by this cycle? End of this cycle? No. I don't think it's going to go that high. But it could do an easy 7x. 7x from here which means a lot of the alts toward the tail end, they will do their 10x, 15x, 20x. You just have to be patient. Oh boy. 19%, 14%, 13%. Looking good. Could ETFs change Bitcoin's 4-year cycle? Yes. It certainly can. Again, you figure if all these wealth funds start holding tens to hundreds of billions of Bitcoin with these spot Bitcoin ETFs, why would they sell? Do they really care about 4-year cycles? Maybe they just keep holding. And a vast majority of Bitcoin is being held and not being sold, then why would it ever go down? Right? So these 4-year cycles may be going away. Maybe this is the cycle that removes all cycles. And then we just continue to trend forward. And then, then we have this to look forward to in 2030. And I watch you for almost 1/10 of your life. You must be a young dude then. But I appreciate you being here. How's Robinhood? They own a lot of Bitcoin, don't they? What's their average? Robinhood, it's been detected that they hold like the 3rd largest or 5th largest Bitcoin wallet. But I argue that's not their holding. That's their hot wallet for their clientele. I don't believe that Robinhood holds more Bitcoins than, say, Michael Saylor and Microstrategy. Maybe they do, but it's been unconfirmed. I think the vast majority of that is just from their clients that are holding with Robinhood. But I may be wrong on that. Regardless, it's a ton. A lot of people are holding a lot of Bitcoins. Let's see. This one, I don't know if this updated with Robinhood, but out of this, 71 entities hold already 9.2%, right? And then you have, of course, MicroStrategy up there. You got Mara up there. You still have Tesla up there, Hut, Coinbase. This is BS. Coinbase holds enormous amounts of Bitcoin that they have not reported. Yeah, Arkham did a wallet analysis. I think, Coinbase in total holds more Bitcoins than even Satoshi. I think that's what Arkham found out. They have a lot of hidden wallets. That's why they're able to do all these OTC trades. Coinbase holds, they hold 10 times more. No. Like 6 times more than MicroStrategy. And then you got countries. The US holds 200,000 Bitcoins. China holds around 200,000. Even Ukraine, I don't know if they sold it, but that's 50,000 Bitcoins. El Salvador, over 2,300. Okay, who knows? Other countries, they may be stocking up. We don't know. Unless they publicly declare, they're not going to know, right? You got a lot of private companies, including Mt. Gox. That's not good, right? But still, they're just holding out and holding out and holding out and holding out. They're never going to give it back, it seems like. But you got Tether that holds 55,000 Bitcoins. Tezos Foundation holds 18,000 Bitcoins. Mass Mutual, a big institution, holding 3,500 Bitcoins. Then you have the big kind of fund companies already, or trusts like Grayscale, holding 643,000. And these are other ones from other nations. Just these alone hold 10%. That doesn't include the long-term holders, doesn't include the miners, doesn't include, I don't know, Putin and Z. Who knows how much they've been loading up. There's just not that many to go around. Bitcoin is the only asset that we have that has a finite supply versus everything else out there that basically has an infinite supply and will never run out of it within our lifetime. Can we run out of Bitcoin within our lifetime? Pretty much, even though the inflation rate is going all the way to 2040, but by that time you're getting decimal points of Bitcoin being released per block. So basically, essentially, all of it is going to be gone. Gareth is live on Banter now. I won't say anything about Gareth, but I did see something kind of fishy last night. Something, a lot of people have been picking on him on Twitter, but he responded in a way that I did not like last night. I was going to retweet it, but I'm like, I don't want to start a war or anything, but I'll just leave it at that. Joseph, keep preaching DCA. I bought the top of last cycle. I'm a few thousand in the green now, up 20,000 in the past 30 days. Insanity. Congratulations, Joseph. I'm glad you stayed, you kept DCAing. It's tough, especially if you're new, you got into the top of the cycle, you'll probably think this is the worst decision I ever made, right? I watched my investment going from 69,000, for each Bitcoin go down to 15,000. But the power of DCA, like you dollar cost average down, you stay with the schedule, and look at Joseph just proved. He is in the green now, way in the green, and we just barely begun, right? That's the power of DCA. You just can't go wrong with it, especially with Bitcoin. Can you predict for SHIB too? I'm a SHIB holder. SHIB needs to go up like 10x just to get back to the previous high, I think. SHIB is only up 5% today. I mean, that's a crazy climb. You know when that happens, like that kind of vertical leap, it happens basically at the tail end of a cycle, right? So I think second half of 2025, we will see a lot of memes and alts just do that. That's when it's truly altcoin season, right? When Bitcoin kind of like tops out, when people think it's too high, that's when the money flows out and goes into alts. And then that's when like something like SHIB and maybe Pepe, will just do a vertical climb. So it always happens every single time. People thought Doge was dead. I never got into Doge before. I thought Doge was dead, laughing stock. After 2017, the bubble pop, 2018, 2019, Doge was dead. It had as many decimal points as SHIB. And then it caught on fire in 2021. And then Elon made it catch on fire even more, right? Look at how high Doge is. SHIB will catch fire again, and so will other alts. Cryptex finance on Coinbase. I never looked into it, so I can't tell you too much about that project. Oh my God. Look at that. Mara up 22%. Coinbase up 15%. Microstrategy up 14%. Today is Bitcoin day. Bitcoin doubles for 2023 while all other asset classes continue to struggle. These wealth fund managers, man, pension funds, retirement funds, wealth funds, hedge funds, whatever other funds that exist, they're going to be putting billions upon billions upon billions once we get a spot Bitcoin ETF. right? Once we get this, iShares Bitcoin or ARK Invest Bitcoin, I don't know what they're calling it, or Grayscale's Bitcoin ETF. Man, so much money is going to be flowing in. It's going to be unlike anything we have seen before. Do you think Theta will reach all-time high? I don't know. I've given up on Theta, so I do not pay attention to them. Can they go back? They have a good chance, but I'm not so positive about Theta anymore. All right, guys. I'll let you guys go. It's been exciting. I think it's going to get more exciting. We'll see where Bitcoin goes tonight. Maybe, today, the whole day, we're just going to cool down and chill around 34.3. That would be quite okay if we just chilled here for an entire day. And then we'll pick it up tonight, okay? Let's try to break 10K tonight. 10K live viewers. That would be insane. Gifted memberships left and right. Maybe we'll have a giveaway. I don't know. But we'll see. All right, guys. So stay strong, my friends. This is just the beginning. This is barely anything compared to what's coming. We're barely above 30,000. We're at 34,000. Wait until we go back to 37,000 next, 45,000, 50,000, 70,000. Then, my friends, it's going to get really, really exciting. Okay? Smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one.